Everyone, welcome into another episode of the Spoiler Alert podcast. This week, Ty has already seen Stray, so he's going to give you an update on if you should see it or not. I was actually the one that ended up seeing the Ninja Turtles movie, so I'm going to do Turtle Time and convince you guys to see or not the new Ninja Turtles film. And then Ty did take a trip out to the boonies, to the way out theater to see Jules, which he said he was going to do on the last episode, and Ty sticks to his word, and he did it.
I'm a man of the people. I had to see it. I had to do it.
So, Ty, we will kick it off as usual with some upcoming movies of the week. Kicking it off with, you could probably say the star of the weekend, I would imagine.
Yeah.
And that is Blue Beetle. An alien scarab chooses college graduate Jamie Reyes to be its symbiotic host, bestowing the teenager with a suit of armor that's capable of extraordinary and unpredictable powers, forever changing his destiny as he becomes the superhero known as Blue Beetle. Ty, you and I have kind of like talked back and forth a little bit about this movie. It's just like yet another superhero that we've never heard of and probably not many people care about.
Yeah.
You have put your claim in that you're not seeing it. You don't care how good the ratings are right now, which currently is 6.9 here on IMDb. You said it's certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes.
Which is shocking. It's shocking to me.
I'm so burned out, I feel.
Me too.
Likely not one I'm going to run to see.
Yeah.
But I mean, if it keeps up this rating, I'll take the bullet here, Ty. You know, I'll get back to you.
I'm talking a big game here, but I mean, really, there's not a lot coming out next week. If I might have to see this movie, I might have to. I'm talking a lot of shit. I might have to eat it. You know, if it ends up being decent, I'll eat it.
So this is starring Ty. We literally talked about how to pronounce his name. I'm not excited for it. I'm gonna go with Zolo Baranduena.
There you go.
And if you don't know who that is, he is Miguel Diaz in Cobra Kai on Netflix. So he's a star of that show, and I don't mind him in that. He does well enough for, I mean, it's a Netflix show, so he does well enough. Have no problems with him at all. George Lopez coming in here, and Susan Sarandon. So two larger names in this film, albeit, you know, kind of older names, but two larger names nonetheless. There's not a lot to say here about this movie, Ty. We've kind of already gone into it, but the next one here coming out is Strays, which you have already seen and we'll be talking about a bit later. And this is yet another film where the writer and director really haven't done shit, but somehow they end up with just an array of high-end actors. So I'm going to run through this list here quickly, and I'm not even going to hit all of them. I just pulled out some of the biggest names. Will Ferrell, Jamie Foxx, Isa Fisher, Randall Park, Will Forte, Rob Riggle, Josh Gad, Brett Gelman, Sofia Vergara, Jimmy Tatro, yet again, and David Herman. So most of those names you probably recognize. I'll probably bring up some of those that maybe the name itself doesn't hit. But Randall Park, he's in quite a few things. Comedic actor, probably most known for being Asian Jim in The Office.
Oh, yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
So that is him. Josh Gad is, of course, Olaf in Frozen. And where I like him even more is the star of the Book of Mormon on Broadway when it first came out. Love him. Brett Gelman, he's in quite a lot of things, but most people will probably know him from Stranger Things at the moment.
I think so, yeah.
And then David Herman, you probably really never see his face just because he's a massive voice actor. He's Scruffy in Futurama, which is back. Bob's Burgers, he is in that. King of the Hill, he is in that. And speaking of King of the Hill, Dale died.
I saw that, dude. That's so sad. I saw that he recorded a whole bunch of lines and stuff before he died. So, I mean, that's cool, but it's fucking awful.
Yeah, that's such a shame. I didn't know he lived here in Austin, too.
Really?
That's why Sophie got like the alert. She gets like local news alerts or whatever for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And I hate how they like title these fucking headlines. Like all it said was King of the Hill star found dead in his Austin home. I'm like, fucking Mike Judge died?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
And then I'm like, I feel like that would be way bigger news if he did.
Yeah.
But not trying to downplay it at all. I absolutely love Dale. And honestly, I should look up his real name to give some respect here. But what a hell of a character.
Oh, yeah, one of the best.
King of the Hill. His name is Johnny Hardwick. But yeah, he passed away, age of 64. Hasn't really done much else except King of the Hill.
That's cool. I wonder if he's just like a regular ass dude that just. I wonder if he was like homies with Mike Judge or.
Yeah.
He kind of looked like Dale.
Yeah, I can see that. and that's exactly what I think. I'm pretty sure he's just a buddy of Judge. He was also a writer of King of the Hill. And you're exactly right. The animators drew the Dale character to look and smoke exactly like Hardwick.
That's awesome.
So that's pretty awesome. Cool.
He'll live on forever as Dale, so hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, for sure. So shout out to him. Mike Judge, I know he's definitely from... Whoa, okay, didn't expect that. He must have lived in Texas forever, but friggin' he was born in Ecuador.
What?
Yeah, I didn't expect
Mike
that
Judge?
at all. Yeah.
That's like the most random fact of all time.
Everything he makes, like Beavis and Butthead is set in Texas, King of the Hill is set in Texas. So I'm just like, oh, he's born and raised in Texas. No, he's born in Ecuador.
I wonder if his dad was like in the military or something like that, so that's why.
Must be. Well, maybe that's what Cotton's based off of.
Probably, actually.
Yeah, because he barely has to do a voice for for Hank. He just kind of barely changes his voice.
Okay, so I'm reading now. This is Mike Judge talk, folks, so get ready. He was born... His dad was an archaeologist, and at the time of his birth, his father was working for a non-profit organization in Ecuador. I'm not going to try to say that part of Ecuador, but Ecuador. So then from there, they moved to New Mexico, I guess.
Interesting. So why the hell's everything in Texas that he does? He just likes Texas?
I have no idea. I guess he's just a big old Texas guy.
Oh, Judge was taking graduate math classes at UT of Dallas. There we go. Most of the films are, yeah.
I just have the King of the Hill theme song stuck in my head now. The best. The best.
I really like Mike Judge because, like, not only does he do good, like, animated shit, he's produced some good shows like Silicon Valley.
Oh yeah,
I believe he wrote Office Space.
He did. Yeah, he's really got a good mind for comedy.
Yeah. I haven't watched the new show he produced, Praise Petey. I don't know how that's doing.
Yeah, I hadn't heard anything about that stupid one. The new Beavis and Butthead movie is decent.
Yeah, the new episodes have been good. It's Beavis and Butthead. I mean, what do you want?
Yeah.
So, anyways, that's our tangent here for for him. So yeah, shout out to old Dale Gribble. That's a shame. Anyways, David Herman is a big voice actor. He was in all of those we just talked about. And have you ever played Jack and Daxter?
Oh yeah.
So he was in that as well.
Nice.
So Ty, you'll be talking about that a bit later. So moving on.
I wonder what we'll think about it.
Yeah. Well, what you'll think about it.
I wonder what I'll think about it. Tune in, everybody. Keep listening.
Now we're at the part of the upcoming films that you likely won't care about. Starting with Haunting of the Queen Mary. We talked about this last week because it's yet another boat movie. Ty, you saw the Dracula on a boat movie last week. I'm on a boat. And now they got another one here. Haunting of the Queen Mary explores the mysterious and violent events surrounding one family's voyage on Halloween night in 1938 and their interwoven destiny with another family on board the infamous ocean liner Present Day. So it looks pretty damn awful.
It does.
The only shining thing about it is Alice Eve, who, if you don't recall who she is, she's from Out of My League. and not a ton else. Director and writer also have not done shit. So this just looks like B movie at best.
Oh yeah, yep, definitely. That poster looks like something we could bang out right now on Photoshop if we wanted to.
I'm just gonna pop it in Microsoft Paint.
Yeah, spray paint.
Yeah, this is how it looks.
Throw a nice little skull in there.
Well, I don't think either of us will bother seeing that, and we shouldn't either. Next one does look interesting to me. It's a film. I've been liking a decent amount of Korean films, but this one is called The Moon. A man is left in space due to an unfortunate accident, while another man on Earth struggles to bring him back safely. So, sounds like a pretty routine story of an astronaut being stuck in space, but those could be pretty good.
This caught my attention already off the bat.
Yeah, this is one, I think it might be streamable. I don't believe it's going to be coming out in theaters. Yes, so yeah, it doesn't even say any theaters available yet, just says coming soon.
This kind of reminds me of that new episode of Black Mirror from the new season.
Yes, exactly.
That was the first thing that came to mind.
So it must have, it says it's coming out August 18th, but it must have had some sort of release probably over in Korea, because there's 5.8 thousand ratings already, and it's sitting at a 7.3.
Huh.
The effects look pretty cool. He's riding around in a space rover. There seems to be some sort of asteroid storm going on the moon. But it does not look bad at all.
We might have to try to catch that one streaming and talk about it at some point.
Yeah, for sure.
Not bad.
Next one here, Back on the Strip, starring Kevin Hart, Tiffany Haddish, and bring him back, Wesley Snipes. A young man moves to Las Vegas to pursue his dream of being a magician, only to end up joining a male stripper group. This just sounds awful.
That was the most random sentence of all time that's ever been spoken.
I don't know. I'm not a Kevin Hart guy.
Me either.
I don't stand up. I don't find funny. Most of the things I find funny that he does is usually when he's on some other show or interviewing someone and they just make fun of him.
Yeah, for sure. My favorite thing about Kevin Hart is whenever my actual favorite comedian, Mark Norman, says that he is Kevin Hart because he's not Kevin Hart.
So yet another one we will probably skip. I can't imagine this being good.
No.
Wesley Snipes coming back after the big tax evasion that he did.
Good for him for getting some work, I guess.
Yeah, right?
Phase on love, wow.
Bring him back as Blade. That's what I say. The last one here, also another weird fucking looking one. It's called Landscape with Invisible Hand. When an occupying alien species bureaucratic rule in advanced technology leaves most of Earth impoverished and unemployed, two teenagers hatch a risky plan to ensure their families' futures. Watch the trailer, and even looking at the photos here, I don't know what the fuck I'm looking at.
It's very weird. I saw the trailer for this one in the theaters, and it's weird.
In the theaters? I wouldn't even think it would be there for a trailer.
I can't remember what movie I saw it before, but I just thought it looked so weird.
It's like, so the first thing I thought of was, is that a hermit crab? Was kind of originally what I thought of.
It's unsettling.
And then as I'm writing it down, I'm like, oh, this is what Mrs. Garrison was talking about when she said, retarded fish frog in South Park. This is the thing she was talking about.
It actually is, though.
And I don't have no idea what to think about it. And we talked about this before. It has the selection for Sundance little stupid award logo on it.
Yeah.
Which means, hey, this isn't going to be great.
Mm-hmm.
But not a ton of people in this one. Tiffany Haddish is probably the biggest name. She's just in everything now.
Yeah, that guy that's in it, Asante Black, he kind of looks like an alien. He's got really big, weird eyes or something.
He's just looking one way. Eyes not the full way over.
It's kind of creeping me out.
He was in When They See Us. He was Kevin Richardson as a teen. And then This Is Us, which is a show I'll never watch, but I remember when it came out, everyone's like crying because of it for some reason.
Wow. He was in 52 episodes. Holy shit.
He is in the new Proud Family, which I didn't know was a thing.
Louder and prouder, baby.
Sugar Mama. Love Sugar
Mama. Yeah, what a weird looking movie.
Josh Hamilton is... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I'm usually down for anything with aliens and shit in it, but this one just is... I don't know. Didn't catch my attention.
It's also not A24.
Exactly.
So you can't be weird without that. But Josh Hamilton is a face you will recognize. You just kind of look at him and you're like, you're in things. And he is in things. 8th Grade, which was the Bo Burnham movie. But if you scroll down his kind of resume, he's in quite a few things. 13 Reasons Why, which is a horrible, horrible show that nobody should watch. He is in... He's just always kind of a background character. Law and Order. I want to say he was in... He plays the fucking dodos at Ice Age.
That is so random.
So he's just in random shit. And usually a kind of offsetter background character.
Huh.
Yeah, so, those last 4... Well, the moon might be worth seeing. The other ones, probably not so much.
Probably a skipper. Not a great week.
No, not great. Not great.
A strong week.
So I mean, you'll be telling us more about that later. But I see Adam Sandler's name, which has me excited for the news.
Yeah, I didn't even know this was a thing until about yesterday. Yeah. So he's got a new movie coming to Netflix called "You Are So Not Invited to My Bat Mitzvah." Bat mitzvah. Yeah, I knew it was one of those.
That's for females.
Yeah, okay, bat mitzvah. That's right. So Adam Sandler and his 2 daughters, almost his entire family, star in this Netflix adaptation of a coming-of-age novel of the same name. So his daughter Sunny stars in the lead role as Stacy, and his oldest daughter Sadie also appears in the film. And just a little side note, his oldest daughter looks just like him. It's crazy. Yeah. They're like twins.
And the youngest one looks like the mom.
Yeah, it's nuts. But a quick synopsis of the movie is Stacy and Lydia have been best friends for quite some time, modernly navigating the stressors of middle school life. Stacy is busy planning her bat mitzvah and oogling over her crush Andy. However, Lydia ends up stealing Stacy's crush from her, forcing the 2 best friends to have a fallout. So, I mean, you already know that we're going to watch this one. We can actually talk about it next week, probably. Same wife as the wife in Uncut Gems to him, so Idina Menzel is her name. It comes out next week on Netflix, so be on the lookout for that one. Probably a solid.
Yeah. His wife is in it, and funny enough, doesn't play his wife. That's hilarious to me.
That's always so funny how that works out. It's funny because it's his real life kids and his real life wife, but
nah, you go over there.
Yeah, take a walk, wife.
She's it looks like, I'm just going based off of names, but Luis Guzman, who you'll recognize his face. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she's going to be married to him in the movie, just going based off of last names. So that's going to be... It's going to be great. It's like any other Adam Sandler movie, which it may not be your thing, and, fuck you.
Everybody knows we love Adam Sandler. Yeah. We're going to watch it. We'll talk about it. Yeah, that's that for that one. Just a couple things here. Quick Deadpool 3 rumor, even though we both just said we don't give a shit about Marvel anymore at the moment. Apparently Channing Tatum is going to show up as Gambit. Remember, he was supposed to play the character way back in the day, but that movie ended up getting stuck in developmental hell, I guess. So,
was it? Am I wrong?
There was a guy that was Gambit. It was... Oh, I can't remember his name.
Huh.
Oh, it's going to drive me crazy.
Yeah, because I thought Channing Tatum showed up in some random-ass movie. I might be thinking of Bullet Train.
I got to find out who this guy is that played Gambit. It's right at the tip of my tongue. I think it was Taylor Kitsch. It was Taylor Kitsch. So he played Gambit in X-Men Origins Wolverine.
Oh, that's actually one I. Oh no, I did see that because that was the shitty one with Ryan Reynolds' first Deadpool.
Yeah, it was bad, very bad. But like we just said, we're kind of over Marvel right now. But it seems like they're gonna try to really cash in on all like the cameos and stuff again in Deadpool, since it's getting brought over to the real life MCU instead of the kind of doing its own thing over there in Fox. So we'll see how that goes. Some more news about the strikes, though. They might be heading in the right direction. So I wrote this yesterday, just a little side note, but Hollywood studios are offering writers a new deal with a push from Netflix and Bob Iger, that's Disney CEO, to end the strike. So their new proposal included sharing viewer data on streaming platforms, and then media companies assured screenwriters that AI won't replace them. So other parts of the offer included better than 20% pay increase on residuals, proposed salary increases, and a minimum duration of work for writers in a mini room. So a mini room is for writers that are just before the show gets picked up, I guess. I guess that makes a big difference because they find out from there if they're going to be signed on as full-time writers for shows. Sure. Something like that. Beyond us. But they're also offering a 5% hike in base pay for the first year of their new contract, which is an increase from their previous 4% offer. So the writers have been asking for 6%, though. But since I wrote that up, I'm pretty sure that the writers already turned that offer down, but they're going to meet again tomorrow on Friday to work towards ending the strike. That's good news, I guess. But then once they finish their strike or whatever, the SAG-AFTRA will still be on strike, all the actual actors. So who knows when that's all going to end up playing out. And then pretty much just the last thing here is just The Blind Side. I'm sure everybody's seen all this all week. I know we talked about it, but so Michael Oher, Michael Oher, the NFL player whose story was I can't even talk today. Dramatized.
Yeah.
I think I spelled it wrong.
I thought I had it bad with the names. That's a tricky word too.
Dramatized. Dramatized in The Blind Side asked the Tennessee court to end his legal relationship with the Toohey family, who took him into their home as he navigated the foster care system and went on to become a football star and pro player. So he pretty much is claiming that he recently learned that they never actually adopted him.
That's pretty fucked up.
As portrayed in the movie. Yeah, it's like, how do you just now find that out? But that's wild. But yeah, so according to him, Leanne and Sean are their name, the Tooheys. They negotiated a movie deal that gave them and their two biological children $250,000 each, and which was 2% of the film's net proceeds, and he apparently got nothing. So now it's kind of just like a he said, she said type deal. So we don't know who to really believe.
Yeah.
I say who cares because they're all filthy, stinking rich anyways.
Yeah.
He's been in the NFL for, what was it, like a decade? They made their money off the movie. It's just weird that it all came out now, like, 10 years after the movie?
It is weird timing, and I hope, obviously everything comes down to money. That's what people care about. He was in the league for, I think it was 7 or 8 years. He got a Super Bowl with the Ravens when they beat the Niners. So he did well. He wasn't the best.
Right.
But he was.
The movie helped. The movie helped get him signed again for sure.
Definitely. Let me look at what he's made in his career money wise. So he's probably made $34.5 million.
I was gonna expect even higher than that. So wow. Never mind.
So he like I said, he was not a terrific right tackle. Which is also funny that he played right tackle because the movie's called The Blind Side, and he was not covering. Who was it at the time?
Probably what? Flacco.
Flacco. I wanted to say Falco. Flacco. So he was not covering his blind side because he was on the right side. Just stupid thing there. But yeah, he did not make much money. He had his rookie contract with Was he drafted in round 1? So yeah, he only played on his rookie contract with the Ravens. They did his 5th-year option, so they had him for 5 years. So you don't make any money as a rookie except for the signing bonus. But his signing bonus was poo-poo. Tennessee for 2 years, he only made $7.3 million with them. Then he did another 3 years with Carolina, which I don't even think he started the whole time. So, that's pretty low. Yeah, it was a while ago when he played. But that's pretty low, and that might be the real reason all this shit's coming out is, I hope it's not true if he blew his money. I also hope it's not true that he just started digging into things and found out he was never adopted, because that's fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, how do you not know though at the same time? But I get it. It's very weird situation all around.
And just because you can't, I don't think it's right to say, he never liked his family. They never had that relationship that was shown in the movie. He took them everywhere. They were with him at the draft. They were everywhere with him. Yeah. And he said at the beginning, I think when the movie came out, that it's pretty, a lot of shit was made up. I'm pretty sure that came out immediately. This seems like, taking that additional step where if that bit you said where the kids got $225,000 and 2.5% of the net and he got nothing, that's horrible.
That's wild. Yeah, I'd beat those kids up if I were him.
'Cause I heard, one, obviously that family already had money, the Tuohys. And with that money, I heard they bought another 150 fast food restaurants or something.
What in the
So it's they made money.
And they were already one of the highest donating families to Ole Miss whenever he got. So it's just a whole big shit show.
It's a thing.
I think that's pretty much it for news. There's not a ton of stuff to talk about.
Cool. Ty, I can jump in first with my convince me to see, since you just had to talk all that. I'll let your voice recover.
Yeah, let's do it.
So I'll jump in here with some turtle talk. So I did see the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, Mutant Mayhem. And I am going to convince you to see it. Ty, I know you already wanted to see it, but I'm going to convince everyone else to see it.
Oh, yeah.
I really enjoyed this movie. The animation is super cool. I think that's what drew us into it to begin with. It's just different. The story itself, pretty basic. It's an origin story, I guess you can call it. The voice acting, I think, was pretty good for really all of the kids. The kids were great at voice acting. Debris from The Bear. She's really good as April O'Neil. And then the only voice acting it would kind of take you out of it a little bit was, sadly, Jackie Chan.
Really?
As Splinter, which is weird, right? But when they first introduced Splinter and he started talking, I was really confused. I'm like, I thought that was supposed to be Jackie Chan. Sounded nothing like Jackie Chan. I think as the movie went on, it got better. But that initial introduction to Splinter, I didn't even think it was Jackie Chan. There was no, and I mean this in the most non harmful way possible, but there was no accent to the way he spoke, which is what I've kind of come to expect with Jackie Chan. Just in everything else he's in, he's always had the kind of a Chinese accent. There was none, and that's what threw me off. And it threw me off not only because of that, but also it felt like you could kind of feel he was just kind of reading from a piece of paper. But he did get better as the movie went on. I wish maybe they would have re-recorded the beginning, because it did not fit in with especially how well the kids did as the turtles when they were talking to him. But yeah, movie's super fun. The music is awesome.
I can just tell.
That's just another thing.
Great.
That's why Spider-Verse has been so good, not only because of the animation, but the music, right?
Yeah.
So it's the same thing here. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles obviously wasn't super big for us because it was a late 80s, early 90s type thing.
Yeah.
And that's the music they use, which is just awesome. So I
love it.
enjoyed the hell out of it. And then Ice Cube is the main villain, and obviously he is early 90s, late 80s hip hop.
That's awesome.
So I'm curious if he had some input on the soundtrack they put in there.
This movie's at the top of my list, and you're just solidifying it even more.
Yeah, it absolutely should be. Only like an hour and a half long.
That's so. I wish I saw it today. And
none of it felt like I never look at the clock. I was excited and enjoying the whole entire thing. Even the parts that, quote unquote, slow down, it doesn't feel like it slows down. There's always either action going on, funny interactions between the characters. And honestly, my favorite character might be Paul Rudd's character.
That's awesome.
He plays a sweet little gecko who's like, just like good vibes, man. Like that type of gecko. But yeah, I don't want to spoil much else, but all in all, really enjoyed it. I gave it an 8 out of 10.
Nice.
Which actually matches it with Across the Spider-Verse.
Wow. Nice.
And I think I should clarify that. Both were obviously very good.
Yeah.
I told my reasons why I didn't have Across the Spider-Verse higher, because when it did slow down, I was like, okay, how much longer? That never happened here. So while the overall story of Spider-Verse might be better, this one is just, there's no slowdown throughout the film. It's just fun the entire way through.
That's awesome. And that's really all you want from a movie like this, especially for people like us. Maybe not too into animation, but we still appreciate and watch it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It keeps your attention the whole time. That's definitely what you want. Absolutely loaded up voice cast too. There's every name on this page is recognizable in some way. I
was a little disappointed. So I love Post Malone. He plays Ray Fillet in the movie. He doesn't talk very much. He has like 3 lines, and then he's just always singing in like falsetto.
That's awesome. Yeah, I can't wait to see this one. It's at the top of my list.
Yeah, absolutely one worth seeing. We're seeing in theaters, worth paying for a ticket. Incredibly enjoyable.
I can't wait now.
And just to put that, to show where that puts the movie currently without your rating tie, it is tied for 6th place.
It's going to be a high one once I get my rating. I'm sure I'll be in the same ballpark as you probably.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be a gem for the year.
Awesome. Ty, let's go into the movie that came out this week. You already saw it. You can convince the people to see or not see Strays.
All right, let's hit it. So, all right, I'm starting off with Strays. One of these movies I liked a lot. One of these movies I didn't like a lot. Keep on listening and figure out why. So it feels like we've been seeing the trailer for this one for a long time now. And I won't say I had like very high hopes, but I wanted to have like decently high enough hopes that I would at least laugh, for a movie about funny dogs. But this movie just misses the mark.
Yeah.
So, like we said earlier, an abandoned dog teams up with other strays to get revenge on his former owner. It's currently got a 6.7 on IMDb and a 58% on Rotten Tomatoes. That's critic approval. Doesn't have the audience up yet. So, I don't really know what these reviewers are smoking that 58% of them thought this was a good movie. Right off the bat when it started, I started to regret buying a ticket, which for me is kind of rare. I think I'm just kind of done with these goofy, like, R-rated movies that could also be, like, kids' movies if they didn't just add, like, sexual humor and F-bombs. Really, really just kind of not that funny at all, besides a few decent chuckles along the way at best. Mostly from just Will Forte being Will Forte and not being a dog. All you want from an R-rated comedy about stray dogs is just wild humor, and it just misses the mark, like I said. And Will Ferrell's voice, I don't know what he was doing, but it just sounded too hammed up and like fake the whole time that I just found it so annoying. He's like, "Oh, I'm this dog," blah 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 blah. Like no change in the voice or inflection at all. It just like sounded so. It just got so annoying. So it's another bummer from him. So I'm gonna go with a nice 2 out of 10 on it, 2.5 to be exact. So it's one of the lowest of the year. I might be being a little harsh on it, but I liked the Demeter better, but I liked Insidious less.
Wow.
So I might be being a little harsh. You know, the dogs are cute and they're fun, but I for like a raunchy R-rated comedy about dogs, I didn't laugh that much, and that's really all I wanted.
That hurts, man.
Yeah,
because I know we talked about it. I think for a few weeks, we're like, this one might surprise us. This might be really funny, and it had the cast to do it, but
it just, like I said, they kind of just played the best hits in the trailer, which honestly take place pretty early in the movie. I mean, it's 2 seems like it's being harsh, but I think I did like Demeter better, and I know I like Insidious less. So it's like a middle of the road 2.
Yeah.
So then after I did this, I was like, I wanted to take a quick look at Will Ferrell. So aside from Barbie, because it's absolutely killing it, he's mostly been producing lately, but movies that he's had a role in, so like acted in, have all been terrible.
Yeah.
So there was the Eurovision movie that was a Netflix release, which I just had no interest in. And then that No, I did not.
I did see it. It was key. And then it's like, okay, stop. yeah. It had the vibe of Blades of Glory.
Yeah, I think that's what okay, that's kind of what I figured. And then there was the Downhill movie, which I didn't really care to see because I saw that it just got terrible reviews right off the bat. And then there was the Lego Movie 2, which he was basically kind of the same role as Barbie. And then just from there, listen to this awful stretch. We get Holmes and Watson, Daddy's Home 2, The House, Zoolander 2, Daddy's Home, and Get Hard. Just like bad movie after bad movie and like bad role after bad role. Though everything he produces has been pretty solid, so maybe he should just stick to that these days.
Looking back on his kind of characters he's acted as, his best one was 11 years ago with Ashley Schaefer in Eastbound and Down.
11 years ago is crazy.
Fucking hurts.
It does, dude, because that's like, Will Ferrell movies are kind of like our childhood.
Yeah.
Growing up, they were always great. I mean, Talladega Nights, Step Brothers, they're legendary.
Yeah, I know people didn't like him in The Office, but that character was at least funny for a bit.
Yeah.
And then it's like, man, what was the last movie he starred in? It might be Step Brothers.
Yeah, the last good starring role. Yeah, like starring
the Other
like
Guys, maybe?
Side. Oh yeah, okay. Other Guys is great.
2010.
That's like 13 years without a solid lead role. I think so.
He's done.
I still love the guy. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to like shit on him too bad, but he just not good.
Well, that's one of those things, right? Where it's like, it's the name that's going to get people to go to theaters. Like, what's the Spirited with Ryan Reynolds? It's just 2 big names. I'm like, that looks fucking stupid, but people are going to see it because of those 2 names.
Yeah. I don't think this movie's going to do well at the box office of Strays, because I mean, Barbenheimer is still just absolutely killing it too, but then being up against a superhero movie doesn't really bode too well for it. So
he's like you said, pretty damn good for producing. I didn't know he produced Succession.
Yeah.
Wow. Produced Theater Camp.
He has his hand in a lot of good stuff, but whenever he decides to step in and take the role, I think it must just be whenever they're offering him too much money to pass down, like that Holmes and Watson movie. How could you even like? That's like unwatchable.
Like if he wants to, maybe that's how he produces the films. He does a bunch of shitty movies to act in, takes that money and runs, and then produces something great with it.
Maybe that's the method. I don't know.
But then again, I might be wrong. But a lot of the time, producing is nothing more than handing over some money.
Exactly, yeah. So who knows really what he's doing whenever he produces a lot of these other than that. But on the other hand, though, we have Sandler, who he's shown that he can still act, with Uncut Gems. He showed that he has the chops to actually act, in the basketball movie too. I can't remember what it's called. What was that one?
Oh no, now you're making not long shot. Hold up. Pause. Hustle.
Hustle, that was it. Yeah, both great movies that he proved that he's more than just a comedic guy, and he's still doing the comedic roles too. So pretty much everything goes back to Adam Sandler. Everybody should be more like him.
That's right. He's just a good dude.
Especially for guys that used to be on SNL and are known for being comedic actors. Just do what Sandler does.
Yeah. I do have to ask, Jimmy Tatro, is his character just a bro in the movie?
Really? He's just a big Rottweiler, so I guess so. He's kind of like the bro of dogs.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think he was the Rottweiler, I think.
He was.
Okay.
In the Rottweiler. All right. Well.
Yeah, you can tell it's him right away as soon as the dog spoke. I was like, that's Jimmy Tatro. He's been in everything these days.
Yeah, he's just a silly dude. I like him.
I'll see Theater Camp one of these days.
Yeah, it's good enough. You know, it's not great, but it's good enough. But yeah, Ty, that upsets me with Strays.
Well, how about this? What if we hop into one that was a complete opposite for me? I love this movie. Spoiler alert, I love this movie. So this one's Jules. So I'll start off by saying that I would have never even known about this movie if it wasn't in our rundown of upcoming movies last week. So already we're killing it on the pod for that.
For ourselves.
I instantly, we're go us. I instantly just really liked the idea, and I got to take it that night after we got done recording, and I went the next day. Of course, I was the only person there, per the usual, but there's no way a lot of people even know about this one because, like I said, we're movie guys, and I didn't even know about it until, last week when it came out. So let's talk about it. So Milton lives a quiet life of routine in a small western PA town, but finds his day upended when a UFO and its extraterrestrial passenger crash land in his backyard. So it currently has a 7.2 on IMDb and a 86% critic and 91% audience approval on Rotten Tomatoes. So pretty solid all around right there. So getting into the movie, right away you kind of get that small town vibe. Even though it's not in PA, it feels like it's in PA, the way they have it set up. So it hits close to home. But like I say that, but it literally does. So at one point they show a map in the movie, and literally like the counties that we're all familiar with, Armstrong, Westmoreland, they're all like highlighted and they're just like looking on them. Like I like pointed at the screen like I was Leo in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I was like, I know that. That's me. I was probably sitting somewhere where it was highlighted.
Yeah.
Ben Kingsley is almost unrecognizable with hair. It's weird to see him with hair. I think I've only ever... in the one Marvel movie, he might have had a little bit of hair, but this one, he's got like a full head of hair, so he was kind of unrecognizable. And I also didn't know that he was 79 years old.
Ah, damn. He's like Patrick Stewart? Patrick... Yeah, right? Patrick, is he... That's Professor X, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. They just... maybe it's just something about being bald makes you look young.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Ben Kingsley does not look 79.
No.
Which is just crazy. But yeah, he kills it as Milton, who's kind of an older man, who's going through like the early stages of dementia. That might be a little bit of a spoiler, but this movie's like sad, but it's also just funny and it's heartwarming, and I just loved it. Like I said, it hits close to home literally on the map, but also without spoilers, it hits close to home figuratively too as well. If you've had like grandparents going through anything like that.
Sure.
So I highly recommend checking this one out. I'm sure it's going to be streaming soon, because I don't want to spoil too much. Not too much to go into with this one, but I'm going to go 8.3 on it. Pretty high. So like almost a 9. I could probably see myself giving this a 9. I'd like to watch it again, but yeah, it's a good one.
Nice.
I think you'd like it too.
With that 8 rating, kind of like similar that I gave to the Turtles, that will also put it up at 6 for us.
Yeah, only an hour and 27 minutes long too, so it's a quick watch.
I'll see it this weekend, Ty, and then I will get back to you next week.
There we go. I'm excited to see what you think about it, but I fucking loved it.
Awesome. Cool. So 1 hit, 1 miss, and Ty, I'm sorry you had to sit through Strays and not enjoy it, but I think that also gives some credibility to kind of our show and yourself too. We haven't done many Convince Me to Sees that were, hey, don't go see this.
Yeah, that's true. And even like I said, I might be being a little harsh on it, but for me, I just didn't like it. So, which is kind of rare. I kind of see the benefit of the doubt for a lot of movies, but I just don't think I can do talking dog movies anymore. Maybe that's me getting older, but I don't know. Not a talking dog guy.
This will be a movie I'll throw on at some point and just kind of leave it on in the background while I play Snap.
Yeah, for sure. Should we do our weekly Snap segment? Because I'm almost at infinity for the first time.
Where you at?
Like 96, I think.
Nice. I am also been bouncing between 97 and 98. I just keep getting stupid cheery decks against me.
Yeah, I just went up against one of those a little bit before we recorded, but like, so I've been playing like the She-Hulk Infinite deck, but having such a good time with that 'cause it's so easy.
Fun, yeah.
It just like you just wait, drop down all your 1-drops early, and then you throw down the hammer on turn 7.
That's what I like about some decks. It's easy to tell when you should snap. You know, you have everything lined up, and you're like, it's go time.
Yeah, if you have it all in the hand, you're just like snap.
Yeah, exactly. So many people fucking retreat at the higher levels.
I know. Yeah, I've been going through that too.
Just go 1 cube at a time. Sucks. Ty, I will throw in a quickie here for a convince me to see or not. This might surprise you. I saw Elemental.
Oh, okay.
It wasn't terrible. This was actually pretty good.
They're saying it's had like a completely like it went from I remember we thought it was going to be a complete bomb to it it ended up making money. It ended up turning a profit, and then I think it caught on real well like overseas as well.
I think what happened is one, Pixar has been pretty bad lately. We talked about Illumination passing them up, but that was part one. I'm like, man, I just don't care. Pixar hasn't been doing it for me. And then the other bit was like, you see the trailer and you're like, you've heard this story a billion times. This is going to be exactly the same. And that's what I thought. And it's available to stream now. And I watch it. I put it on. I had some good laughs. The characters are extremely likable. Yes, the story is pretty kind of generic. The main character works at her dad's shop that they've owned their whole life. And he's going to take it over someday, and she's excited about that. Then she finds out, ooh, maybe I'm better at other things. I'm not so excited about it. You know, that typical story that you hear a billion times. But it's really the interaction between the two main characters. The fire and water, they can't interact with each other type deal. They were just so likable, especially Wade, the water dude, that it made me smile throughout the movie. Obviously, this isn't really a convinces me to go to the theaters type thing since it's streaming now, but I did end up giving it a 7 out of 10.
Wow. Okay, that's what I was going to ask. What'd you end up with it on there?
Yeah. So Sophie and I watched it a couple nights ago, and we laughed. It was just enjoyable.
Okay. I'll remember that. I think Tay and I'd probably like watching it then if you guys did.
The Wade character, the water dude, he's just so wholesome. And the thing about water people, I guess they just cry all the time. And it's just a funny trope throughout the movie.
That's great.
But yeah, that's a quick and easy one. That's also only like an hour and a half.
Nice. I'm trying to think if there's anything I watched recently. Oh yeah, Freddy vs. Jason. Terrible movie.
Yeah, bring it back.
Absolutely terrible movie. I saw it was like the 20th anniversary. Nothing but regret watching that.
Oh man.
It was so dumb. It just looked terrible.
Yeah.
Looked terrible, and then the only part where they actually fight is like the last, I don't know, 25 minutes of the movie.
Didn't make any damn sense why they fought either.
No.
Just like, this is my town.
I could see why back in the day it probably made money. Everybody's like, holy shit, we get to see them fight for the whole thing.
Yeah, nah. Then they don't.
Yeah, I think they kill like one, maybe two people the whole time.
Yeah, I remember that as well, because we were, what, maybe 9, 10?
Yeah, I think 10 or something like that.
And
9, 10.
We probably thought that too. They're like, oh, fuck, that's going to be really scary. And it's like, we don't know shit about Jason and Freddy other than like around Halloween time we would see them.
Yeah.
Because, those are obviously 80s movies. It It was a movie that, as a kid, you're like, we have to see this. But then you realize how fucking terrible it is.
Oh, yeah. Just looked like crap. Jason, it was so bad. I could ramble.
Was it? I mean, they're probably old as shit, so probably not. But was it the original, like...
It was the original Freddy Krueger guy, Robert Englund.
I guess anyone can play Jason.
Yeah, they made Jason look weird in it. He had, like, completely, like, decrepit, like, black skin, but he looked all skinny and weird. It wasn't very scary. I don't know. Definitely wasn't scary, but it just wasn't very good either. There's one point where, like, the girl tries to distract them, and she's like, hey... like to look away from her friends, and then Jason just like punches her and she flies through the woods and hits a tree.
Yeah, not great.
I'm surprised nobody's remade like for the Friday the 13th movies yet, like they did with Michael Myers.
Don't give them ideas.
Yeah. I mean, right? Halloween is coming up. It's going to be spooky season, and we'll have some spooky season stuff to talk about.
I hope so. That's usually my favorite time for movies and scary movies.
The best.
And
the Nun 2 looks kind of poo-poo.
Yeah.
But The Exorcist Believer also kind of looks poo-poo, but I'll see it.
I just want, like... Maybe it's just because I'm older, but I want a actual horror film that's going to, like, make me think twice to go to sleep.
Exactly. And I don't know if that even exists these days for us. No. I don't think it does.
It's been a while. This is just a horrible thought I had... like this past few weeks or whatever. Do you realize that there's going to be a point where we're going to be either in the middle of a TV series or there's going to be a movie that's coming up that we want to see when we're old and we'll die before we get to see it or it ends?
Shit, that sucks.
I had that thought the other day. I'm like, fuck, that's awful. So sorry to really bring down the damn mood, but I was thinking about that because I have, my watch list on IMDb.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I can make it through these. I think there's like 300, 400 some movies on there. And I'm like, that's not a lot. But then I'm like, well, movies keep coming out. So I'm going to keep adding things to my list. And then I'm like, I'm going to be really old at one point, and I'm never going to make it to see
You had an existential crisis because of your IMDb list.
I fucking panicked.
Full-blown panic attack. You're like, wait a minute. Movies keep coming out. Time keeps going. I'm going to get older. Movies are going to get older. I won't be able to see that movie.
And, like, it might have been more for, like, TV shows where, like, I've actually invested time watching it, and I won't get to see the end.
That's true. There's people that died before they got to see Avengers Endgame.
Yeah.
That's fucked up. Imagine watching 20 years worth of Marvel movies or whatever. So just be like, oh, hell yeah, Endgame, brother. I can't wait.
And then it turns out it's your Endgame,
Gotcha.
But fuck, yeah. So, like, we were talking about horror movies that will keep me up at night. Apparently, this is it.
Life was the horror.
This was a mistake.
Oh my gosh.
But, on that note, Ty, let's maybe let people go and think about their lives a bit more.
Yeah. Maybe add some more movies to your list so you don't... Never mind, I'm not going to say
that. maybe start watching things.
Before you regret it.
All right, we will see you all next time.
See you.